Hello there, my mate Vince here, and in this video today we're going to be looking at this Power Tracks. It's a game for, well, not just kids, but it says it teaches the first steps of coding and circuit building. Obviously it's aimed at children. And I haven't actually put any batteries in or set it up yet, but it looks like you make a track out of these jigsaw pieces, and then this robot whizzes along the track, and it looks like there's little sensors down here, so it should be an interesting one. It was sent in by a viewer and a patron named Tom, and he basically says that, hope you're well, inside you should find a broken Power Tracks game which seems to have stopped working after about a year off owning it. It's always just when the warranty period's up, isn't it? Normally Volty, the robot, should follow the tracks laid down using the large jigsaw pieces and perform various different actions depending on the markings, but he seems to be misbehaving. As you can see, he only goes forward regardless of what is on the tracks, and also he doesn't go in a straight line. I think this is going to be one interesting one, so clearly the fault must be on this here, so it'd be good to take apart and see what's going on. He goes on to say that he really enjoyed the Rolls-Royce videos, as did so many other people, which is lovely to hear, and he said that the dad had a classic car, a XK150 Jaguar. Oh my word, that is one beautiful car. I just googled it here. I have heard of them before. They are absolutely stunning. Unfortunately, they do have a price tag to match. Check this out, £174,000. There is one here that looks a bargain in relation to the others, just under £60,000. So yeah, stunning car. Right, let's get some batteries in this. I'm going to mock up a little track now, and let's see what Volty is doing. While I'm doing that, you go get yourself a nice drink. This is going to be a tea break fix, so hopefully I'll be all done and dusted in around 10 25 or 15 minutes. Okay, well, Volty certainly doesn't work. It actually embarrassingly took a little while for me to get my head around it. Can you see that we have a sensor here and a sensor here and a sensor here? So clearly these two sensors must be to keep it either side of the line, and this sensor is reading things as it goes past. So for example, can you see here it says battery, and look, we have like one here, and then a series of other ones. They all have like one here, and then a series of others, and depending on what it is, the lines are different. So if you have a look here, the difference between red LED and green LED, they're the same, that's the same, but can you see this one here is different? So then the rest of them are the same. So because it recognizes that this is different than this one, it knows that this is a red and this is a green. I presume it lights up red or green or something like that. But anyway, to actually do the programming part of it, you have to tell it. So I was wondering what these things in here were, because we have loads of different cards, and they're to help kids program it, because they can kind of lay out the things around here, but because I've done such a simple circuit, you can do it from here. So what I mean is I don't need the cards, because it's just forward, left, forward, left, forward, left, forward, left, etc. Kind of reminds me of like a modern day Big Track in a way. Big Track was a great programming tool for kids, just unfortunately it was too expensive. Right, so watch this. If I turn it on, and then if I go to this one here, so I'm going to start here, so I want to go forward, then left, then forward, then left, then forward, then left, then forward, then left, and that should bring me back to here, shouldn't it? Yeah. So if I do that one there, now if I put it on here at start, it should go forward and then turn left. But watch, just as Tom said, it will just keep going forward. It's got stuck. But yeah, that's it. He's still going. Yeah, and it doesn't matter what I do, how I cover up these. It makes no difference. It just goes forward. Also, it doesn't seem to make an attempt to get into the middle, or does it? Let's see. No, so it's going to the left there. So now, sorry, to the right. It's going to the right. So something's not right. It doesn't go in a straight line either. So clearly the problem is with this here. Let's take it apart, see if we can find out what's going on. So I'm thinking there's something wrong with these things down here. Or maybe the circuit board attached to those things. So I'll take the batteries out, and there's 4 Phillips screws to undo, one in each corner. Right, let's see what lurks inside Volty. Good face, isn't it? Oh. Okay, so we have a little speaker just here. Buttons here, membranes. Right, now, I was going to say water damage, but I don't think that is. I think that's just a little bit of flux residue. Let's zoom in and see. I think that's more flux because it's around these bits here. Just make sure there's nothing under there. No, that's clean. We need to take it apart further. So, why don't we undo that screw, that screw, that screw, and that screw and see what happens. Okay, it's a lot more complicated than I gave it credit for. So we have two motors here. I recognise those motors from when I was a kid. They're kind of motors that you would have got on the old Scalextric cars, or if you went to a model shop, they were the standard motors that you would buy. So now, why is it not going in a straight line? Why would one motor be weaker than the other? Because at the very least, it should be going in a straight line, shouldn't it? A little board down here, and I presume there's going to be a little board under this one as well. So I think we need to strip it down further. I'm just going to take a picture of these so I know which way they go round. Right, so we're free there. Hold on now, lights. Oh, his eyes light up, look. His eyes light up. Hold on 1 second. Let's see. Oh yeah, they do there. That's clever. Hold on a minute, there's a screw missing here. Was that, did I just do that? I'm losing my mind. Did I undo that screw down there? Oh, it's okay. Hold on, there's one at the back as well. Did I undo that? This is really bad. Am I losing my mind? What's going on? I can't remember undoing them. Right, so that's them two out. Can't turn them here because they're on like a worm wheel down here, so they're only going to work when the motor spins. So now, on and off switch is working. So it's something to do with these boards here, or where these boards attach to here. I mean, where is the microcontroller on this? Must be under here, is it? Yeah, I suppose where all these dots are. Must be under this. Under this. Let's undo this as well. So this is going to be held in with some kind of zebra connector. Oh, and this LED has loads of different legs on it, so it must be like a red, green and blue LED maybe. There we go, so that's a zebra connector there. Connecting to these points just here. Ah, what a shame. Blob chips, how dare you. Oh no, blob chips, that's terrible. Oh, hold on. No, I was going to say, what's going on there? Why have we got grease up here on that chip? Maybe that's what the problem is. Maybe it's gone conductive or something. There's no need for grease to be up here. Maybe that's a motor controller or something? Yeah, because it goes down to these points here. And these points are where the motor's connected. But that doesn't say why it doesn't recognise the motor is actually working. It's just not sensing when it gets to the end or something. Anyway, I'm going to clean that because that doesn't look right. Going to get the good old isopropyl alcohol. A quick look elsewhere. These two touching. They're not far away from each other. Let's cut that back. There's some little variable resistors there. Look what I've just seen here. This is a Hall effect sensor, isn't it? I recognise these from the hoverboard. Right now, what's that measuring? believe that's measuring the wheels, but how is... Oh, look at this. It's measuring these on the wheels here. Isn't that clever? Ah, well now this is worrying. So it's not keeping in time with each other. Why? Why is it not keeping in time with each other? That must be what these are for. That's going to be what these are for. Yeah, I think so. Okay, so we will be able to get it going in the straight line. Why is it not reading? And is it possible that it would have more than one fault? Be unlikely. Well, what I'm going to do is, let's just try getting it going in a straight line by messing with that the potentiometer thing. Right, so I'm going to bring it over to the kitchen floor, and then we'll try to adjust these. See if we can find out why it's not going in a straight line. Okay, so I can line them up here, and let's go. Look at that, he's well off, isn't he? Well, that can't be right. So, let's see what happens if we... So what's happening? This one is going faster on this side. So should we do the left-hand side anti-clockwise? No. A bit more. No. Do you know what I should have done? I should have taken an ohms reading because I'm not going to know what it was now. Right, okay, let's do the left-hand side clockwise. Left-hand side doesn't seem to make any difference at all. The right-hand side. And that's not making any difference. It doesn't look like they're rubbing on anything. Right, can I go to the extremes? That's one of these ones that just keep going round and round. Well, those potentiometer variable resistor things don't seem to be making any difference. How weird. It's really weird. Let's turn it off and back on again just in case. Well, that's interesting. It's going straight now to turn it off and back on again. So the variable resistors are something to do with it, because by now it had gone all the way around there. Right, so it looks like you have to maybe turn it off. So now let's do that one. Oh, this is going to take ages. It's definitely better than it was. Just doing the left one counterclockwise. Look at that, it's going the opposite way now. That's interesting, it's stopping. It's stopping now when it meets a black crack. What? Or is that the program? Hold on, is that what it should be? The different lengths? I'm going to put it back on the track. Okay, that should be it. And away we go. Oh my word. Oh. What are you doing? It's something to do with the potentiometers, isn't it? I'll tell you what, let's put this on a complete flat surface. No. Okay. But it's great that it at least stopped. So now, I'm just going to potluck do this on the right hand side. But I think what I'm going to have to do is get my meter in here, and I'll have to keep measuring resistances, and I'll have to keep just playing with it until it seems like it's working right. See? Look at that, it's straightened itself up there. Ah, so you have to do a straight, did I not do a straight one there? Ooh. So what I'm going to do now is get my meter in and start writing down the values of the potentiometer and keep tweaking it until we get something that looks like it's working. Clearly the potentiometers were out. Why they're out, I'm not sure, but when we've started messing with them, we now have what looks like a nearly working product. Right, so if this is the potentiometer here, then basically the leg here and the leg here are already short. Yep, so I need to just measure between here and here, or here and here. So if I go between here and here, I've got to have the batteries out. If I go between here and here, it's measuring at the moment roughly 3,000 ohms. So at least now I can mess around with it from there. So if you have a look here, and if I go between, on the left hand one, here and here, we've got a reading of 3,341 ohms. And on the right hand one, 3,029 ohms. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase that one. So I'm going to go clockwise, I think it probably is. Let's get them so they're both reading the same. $2,000, so I've gone too low there. So I need to go counterclockwise to increase it. This is going to be a long process. 3,300. So yes, it is a long process because it's just pure trial and error. Interestingly, when I have them both the same, for example, both 3,300 ohms, it just runs straight off the track. It doesn't recognise the black line at all. But by having the left-hand potentiometer 300 ohms more than the right-hand one, that seems to be where it's happy. So I've done it numerous different times, and if I keep the right-hand one at roughly 3,311 ohms and the left-hand one 3,644 ohms, that seems to be the best position for them to be in. When I put it on the track, I could do it 5 different times, and each time it will behave a little bit differently. So it's always a little bit hit and miss, but I watched a YouTube video on this set here, and it was also a bit hit and miss on their one as well. So I think it's a relatively cheap toy. I think you can get them from Amazon for about £20. So I suppose you can't expect miracles. Anyway, I put it all back together. I'm happy with how the potentiometers are now. Let's make the track a little bit more harder, and then let's finish up the video with Volty whizzing around the track, hopefully behaving himself and doing what he's supposed to do. Okay, Volty is back together, and I've just done a run and it went perfect, apart from it didn't come up with a red LED. I don't know how perfect it is. It's a relatively cheap toy. I think you can get it from Amazon for around £20, so you can't expect miracles, but it's a great idea. Now, just to show off my programming prowess, watch this. So I'm going to hit this button here. Now, watch how quick I am. Forward, 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 left. Forward, 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 left. Forward, 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 left. Forward, right, forward, right, forward, left. Forward, left. Forward, 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 left. Forward, there. I'm not sure if I did one too many here. 1, 2, 3. No, I think that's right. Right, ready? Let's get the camera off the tripod so you can see all the different lights and stuff. You ready? Here goes. So first one will be green. There you go. Next one will be a sound. Capacitor. And can you see the program bits going along here? And I like the way he wiggles to get himself back on the line. Another capacitor. It pauses quite a bit on this one. So now it pauses, so it must be charging up, and then boom, obviously pretend. I shouldn't have had to say that. Come on. So this is going to be the alarm. I love the way it tries to find that square. It's looking good. Come on. Come on, give us the red light. Come on. Beauty. Give us the sound. Results. Are you going to give us a dance at the end? Come on, come on, come on, and that will be a perfect 100%. Yes! Result! How good is that? There we go, ready to go round again. You know what? I thoroughly enjoyed that one there. So this is what I think was the problem. I think that these, let's have a think now. The Hall effect sensors. Do you reckon those variable resistors or potentiometers were to do with the Hall effect sensors, or do you reckon they were to supply power to these? You know, the same way you adjust the potentiometer on a laser when you're working on like a PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2. Do you reckon that they changed the power to these, or was it something to do with the Hall effect sensors? Not too sure. I'm going to say it was to do here, because when I changed the resistances, sometimes it would just go completely off. It wouldn't even recognize that it came to the black thing at the end there. It would just keep on going. So I reckon what we did there with the potentiometers was increase the power to these ones here. That's what I think. I thoroughly enjoyed that one there. It's a great idea for a toy. I think well worth the money because they're quite cheap, but I think kids would bore off it quite quick. The good news is it doesn't take up much room. It's not like a Scalextric set that takes up a huge amount of room. It folds up into a normal little box, a similar size to Monopoly and Cluedo and all the rest of it. So yeah, I would actually recommend this one. Now, if it's okay with Tom, if he doesn't want it back, then I've got a school that this can go to. And although I don't think a family would get much use out of it, in a school you can have new kids in every single year, and there's going to be some in that class that have a bit of a geeky side to them that would absolutely love this. So a massive thanks to Tom for sending this out. I hope you all enjoyed your drink, and I will see you all again very soon. Let me know if you think at the very beginning, if I had changed the capacitors, whether or not it'd be working. Have I just basically changed the parameters because the capacitors are failing, similar to the Rolls-Royce Speedo? That's what I'm thinking now. But anyway, at this moment in time it's working. How long it will work for, I do not know. Just jumping in from the future, I was editing this video up and then I remember 2 screws were missing from here. So do you think maybe it got dropped or placed down heavy, and then the side that the 2 screws were missing moved up, even if it was just 1mm? That might throw out, you know, the spinning disc on the inside with the Hall effect sensor thing that passes through. You know, the thing I said about the hoverboard, because that's how the hoverboard knows when you go forward and back and how much you go forward and back when you lean on it. So if it was slightly raised by a millimeter, that might throw it out with the next one here, and maybe it confuses the brain in here because they're not matched anymore, and then it doesn't know what it's doing. So I'm wondering if the problem now all along was the fact that the 2 screws were missing from factory, it looks like, and maybe it was just placed down heavy or pushed down on one side, which raised it up ever so slightly. What do you think? Let me know in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video, give it a massive thumbs up, and I will see you all very soon. Thank you.